Someone would believe that we should immediately say strategic partner, which is the obvious answer, but I will come to this as a final point. But we need to discuss about the other two parts, because the way our industry runs today, it has the execution, but that's a market we see closing very quickly. I don't know how many of you are familiar with MCPs, Model Context Protocols. Some of you were in a panel a few months ago, so I discussed about them. I'll explain again. So consider them as a universal plug, like the ones we have now in EU, that from any mobile phone they can plug to any server. So any LLM, any AI can then plug to any broker who has an MCP-enabled database, an infrastructure that can, can understand the language and the model. In that sense, any client can instruct Claude or ChatGPT or anything to do the suitability, analysis, create a portfolio, and then manage the portfolio. So execution-wise, we're right there. I mean, give it a few years, but I mean, we all understand that LLMs, they're learning very, very quickly. So the next point, validator, I mean, I don't know, whoever approaches relationships with clients as they show us something and then we say we validate it or we don't validate it, I think also LLMs, they will be very closely coming for that, because the progress we've seen in the last 6 months is something we didn't believe it would happen in a couple of years. So what we could project from there is that next couple of years this gap also is closing. So 100% as a wealth management firm, we believe in having those sorted and having instant execution and giving clients the power to ask the models their questions and validate inside the platform. But on top of it, you need to be a strategic partner. So that's why we believe in a hybrid future where you have all these technologies, but you have the human relationship manager, the advisor, you name it, as the one guiding the relationship, guiding the investment decisions, and guiding pretty much the investor's future. And because this is something the AI cannot decode. When you look someone in a meeting and you understand their future and the issues that they might have in the future, this is something AI cannot solve. And so that's why I believe that we should focus as a strategic partner for the future.
It cannot solve yet.
So what we see is that what can be augmented and can be done faster, cheaper, it has to be done. So Aristidis said it. Number one was the jobs taken from the coders. That is done. We see number 2 and 3 as back office, back admin. I mean, we already have done it. So producing reports, massive data, reading and giving reports to clients for free. These are things for which in the past they had to pay money for, and they don't want to do it. They want clarity, they want access, full access in systems that can explain them their wealth and how this is structured, what they pay. They need to fully understand, and here I want to connect also with the report Eleni showed us, because reading through this report, really I saw the business model we have. So it is a lot about giving clarity about the investments, not structuring investments around the fees or around the layers, or I think you understand what I'm saying, but structuring around the client. And if the clients in the past, it was really difficult for them to understand and find out all the missing points, or they're waiting for the MiFID II report at the end of the year or anything. Now they can do it real time. So back to your question, back admin, definitely automations around onboarding, automations in the drifting portfolio management process, all this, we have it, is automated. But the last bit, that remains human. And again, it's around the relationships. In my opinion, we should chase the relationships in the future. That would be my motto today. These are very important. And I do believe clients, they understand why they pay us. They understand the job we do. Because you can prepare your system through an LLM, do all your model analysis, which by the way is everything in the past, and I think someone before said it's not the future. I think you had said it. But what happens if you see your portfolio 30% down and it's Tuesday morning? Who are you going to call up? I think you're going to call up one of the senior private wealth managers or the bankers from Hitso here, or my people. So so our opinion here is most of it has to be automated because it will be cheaper and it will provide big value to the clients. But the last bit, it has a lot of emotional and some kind of human understanding which AI cannot replace. So that's my opinion. I think we're somewhere in between what we already discussed. I mean, when we talk about sophisticated investors, definitely with the use of AI, the not so sophisticated investors will become not as much sophisticated, but they will have definitely more tools to reach better decisions. And it is the role of us to guide them in that sense and in the process. I explained it before a little bit when we talked about validation and we talk about the role of humans and in the future of wealth management. Because clients really, they want to be more enabled in the decision process. We cannot shut the door anymore, and Kitso said it before, but we cannot shut the door or keep throwing products at them. That's not what they want. And they will not entertain the discussion, and most probably they will go do a very deep analysis on that. What were the costs, why they proposed this kind of solution, how can I do it in a different way, and all sorts of things. And now they will have the means to do it. It will be so cheap for them to do it. So in that sense, again, it will be around the relationship and guiding the future generation, maybe across family decisions about how the portfolio or the wealth should look like in the future, and bring everyone in this discussion. I think this is at least the first part of how I would see it. Yeah. I mean, we said it before. Us, from the first day we started the company, we invested a lot in building the architecture. We believe this is important because having an AI which acts as a brain, if you don't control strongly, if you don't control the architecture, if Jerry said it before, if you don't control the segregations between departments, talking about data, for example, front office cannot see what compliance is and all that. So this is for us so important, and definitely AI will increase the speed for the next 5 years, if you said. So it would be very important to scale the technology, and make it in a way able to understand and interact with the LLMs. We believe in bringing LLMs inside our platform safely for our investors to interact with it, ask questions, discuss with the relationship managers, challenge the investment decisions, be let's say a little bit of a part in the investment decision process, but then still having the human advisor as someone guiding the plan that is built, because it is of the human who knows in the next difficult phase of the economy how this would adapt. Because an AI can read past performance, it can build you an amazing plan based on past performance, but if situation changes, I mean, I can ask you instead, I mean, how many times you've seen your ChatGPT or Claude say, oh, sorry, I did a mistake. I mean, you don't want that if you have a big portfolio, right? Yeah.
More often ChatGPT than Claude.
Yeah, I agree. But in many senses, you see AI at some point when you challenge it to be in a position of stress. I don't know if you sensed it. If you ask too many questions, It then changes the reply. Again, someone who is vetted, regulated as we are, is what the regulators would expect to be the leader of a future investment relationship and like this. And I think you cannot fully delegate this to an AI model. And of course, there will be people that will try to do it by themselves. But we see a future where, yes, adapting is a big thing, but I think we should go back to the basics, which means building by choosing the best outcomes for the client, few years ahead, checking the costs. The costs are really important for clients' portfolios. They can really eat a lot from future profits. So I believe enabling the AI inside the platform and keeping the human as the main point of contact for an investment relationship, I think this is the future we see.
You can discuss with these people who are experienced investors, and they have put their experience in agents that they are trained in different markets. So in the end of the day, they come and tell me, give me a morning debrief about my diversified markets, and they have trained one certain agent per market. Because they have asked me this question, and they have told him, make this question in the biggest wealth advisors company. And that is a question that I'm transferring you, because it wasn't my work to answer it, but I have put him the way to think of it. You understand? So I would like to ask you for your perception, your opinion about that.
Questions
Yes,
for me, yeah? For everyone. You want me to do that? Okay.
Yes, whoever else wants.
Okay. So one thing I would say here is, we don't allow AI to take investment decisions, for one. Okay, that's a given. We have investment committees for that, and we have real portfolio managers, regulated, that take those kind of decisions. You can have AI, or you can have sort of model and data. I wouldn't like to call everything AI, okay? Because we had for years in the banking and wealth management industry codes and ways to read databases and do things. I don't want to frame everything as AI. But having AI taking a decision, that's a big no for us. Why? It's the zero trust principle. We believe that anyone should think that behind any AI is a human. Okay? So that's at least what our chief coder says. So we are really very reluctant on giving out a lot of personal information to construct something. So yeah, we're not very much on that, and I don't think we will be in the near time. So we're more allowing AI to help on the back, admin, do a lot of analysis, but execution, it's the final bit, and we need to be relied in humans about it.
And the thing is, AI is not, it doesn't have a law about AI ethics or AI, let's say, the legal or the IT perspective for security, for GDPR or ECG. Because there's no law still on Europe about that. How you find a common era between all the banking system in Greece and in Europe that somebody, new investor, can follow or can learn about this, and he can follow, he can know which wealth management companies are following that, and they are AI legal, let's say, and they are following the AI in the correct legal way.
I can give some texture. Not having a law or not having a law guiding this principle, or Jerry can comment better on that, but it doesn't mean that regulated companies can just go about and giving clients data outside Europe. So obviously, we're all again, we're regulated, and so regulators, they're expecting some very high standards from the industry. So that would be my answer on that, yeah.